Dear viewers and my dear students, today I have taken the chapter Lost Spring for discussion. This is this is the second chapter of your textbook Flamingo. It has been written by Anis Jung. In 2005, Anis Jung had published this book and the title was Lost Spring: The Stories of Stolen Childhood. Here, the title of the story is very important. You know that spring is considered to be the best season. It is the season of growth, development, happiness, and joy. But unfortunately, there are millions of children in our country who live below the poverty line. They live under extreme poverty. There is no happiness, there is no joy in their family, and their childhood gets lost. Anis Jung is a famous author. She is also a journalist and columnist for many Indian newspapers, and she also writes columns for the international newspapers. Here in this story, she has brought out the life of two children. One is Saheb, who is a rag picker. Another one is Mukesh, who belongs to bangle maker's family. Both Saheb and Mukesh represent millions of children whose life is full of poverty and struggle. They are the victim of exploitation, and their condition is extremely pitiable and miserable. The story has two parts, and in this video I will take up the first part, which is the story of Saheb, who is a rag picker, and the subtitle of this part is Sometimes I Find a Rupee in the Garbage. Let us see how the story of Saheb develops. The narrator Anis Jung meets Saheb, who is a rag picker. He searches for gold in the garbage dumps. Saheb belongs to a refugee family which has come to India from Bangladesh. The author wants to know why he does not do something else. Saheb says that he has nothing else to do. Author asks him why he does not go to school. Saheb replies that there is no school in his neighborhood. Now the author gives him a hope by promising to open a school in his neighborhood. But at that time also, the narrator feels the hollowness of her promise. She feels embarrassed at having made a promise that she cannot keep. Saheb is one of the rag picker boys. His full name is Saheb Alam, which means Lord of the Universe. But he is simply a rag picker. This name is completely mismatching. It is ironical that his name means Lord of the Universe, but he simply roams the streets with other rag pickers. The narrator notices that these rag pickers are barefoot. They do not wear shoes, sandals, or chappals. The narrator also remembers that it is a popular explanation in society that these poor people want to remain barefoot because it is their tradition. But the narrator does not accept this. She thinks that it is the poverty that compels them to remain barefoot. They live in a family which is unable to fulfill even the basic requirements of life, food, clothing, and shelter. And in this situation, having a pair of shoes is no less than a luxury for them that they cannot afford. The narrator recalls the story of a boy who is a temple priest's son. He goes to school, but before going to school, he makes a prayer to God to grant him a pair of shoes. Here we can see he wants to wear, but he cannot afford it. 30 years later, when the author visits the place, she observes a great change in situation. The present day priest's son is dressed in grey uniform and he wears socks and shoes. Hence, it is clear that when the financial condition of the family has improved, they have started wearing footwears, but there are still many children, poor children, who are still shoeless. These rag pickers live in a place called Simapuri, which is a place on the periphery of Delhi city. They live in a structure of mud with roofs of tin and tarpaulin. There is no sewage, drainage, running water, or electricity. Their life there is devoid of any civic amenities. But they are not unhappy. They have been living there without an identity card or permit, but they have ration cards which enable them to buy grain. For these poor people, food is more important than identity. They are happy to live in Simapuri where they get grain to survive in this world. They do rag picking for their survival, and garbage to them is gold. Garbage is gold to them because garbage helps them earn their daily bread and shelter. Sometimes they find a rupee or a coin in garbage, but they do not stop there. They continue their search in expectation of getting something more. One fine morning, narrator finds Sahib standing near a tennis court. Sahib tells her that he is very fond of this game. He wants to play it, but he can't. A few days later, the narrator meets Sahib while he was fetching milk in a steel canister for his employer. Sahib informs the narrator that he has got a job in a tea stall. Now he earns 800 rupees per month and all his meals. The narrator asks him if he is happy in this situation. He does not answer, but she notices that his face has lost the carefree look of a child, innocence of a child. Suddenly, the steel canister appears heavier than the plastic bag. Now he appears burdened and unhappy. Now he is no longer his own master. He is now an employee with no freedom, and he has certainly lost his childhood. This is where the story comes to an end.